Hi, welcome to our next Culture Q&A episode. Today we are delighted to be interviewing Tayo Rockson. He is a global thought leader in the world of culture. He's a TEDx speaker and we're delighted to be having him as an interviewee today. So Tayo, tell us all about yourself.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tayo Rockson talking to you from New York City. I grew up in 5 countries and 4 continents. So Sweden, Vietnam, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and the United States. I currently run a leadership firm that's focused on helping organizations create inclusive environments as well as finding diverse talents. So my job is to study human behavior as well as celebrate diversity and promote inclusion. I particularly love doing that because, well, it has been my personal experience. And the fact that I get to do that on a professional level is something that I cherish. And it's also something I feel like we need in this world today.
What was the light bulb moment that culture came to life for you?
I had to have been 10 years old. And I remember being this skinny Nigerian kid with a thick Nigerian accent in a French-speaking country in an American international school going through puberty. You know, it was just such a culture shock, and the intersections of all these realities happening to me, within me, and seeing as other people were sort of reacting to the differences that I exhibited was just so obvious and evident to me that it was like, okay, this is something. I decided to try and understand where I could fit in and use my passions to build friends and make a community.
As you know, many cultures place a big emphasis on long-term relationships and a long-term thinking. In the USA, obviously, it's a bit different. There's more of a short-term kind of a transactional focus, at least from our experiences. How do you find that? What are your tips for navigating this and doing business successfully in the USA?
It's relationships. Honestly, it is. And yes, a lot of relationships in America can be transient and short-term, but if you have the tenacity to follow up, I can't express to you how many times I've gotten opportunities from just following up 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, just recognizing that, hey, someone said maybe in 2 years from now I'll have an opportunity or I'll be where you want me to be. If you have the wherewithal to follow up with people, it shows that you care and it shows that, hey, this person actually is serious about that. That usually communicates a sense of importance to that type of person. So I would say building relationships, go to networking events in your industry and within your industry. And also if you are able to be a connector to someone, if you can be the middlewoman or the middleman and be able to connect people to opportunities or to other people, that positions you as a thought leader, but as someone that people respect. So look for ways to connect people to opportunities and other people, and make sure that you have like spreadsheets or Google Docs of people that you need to follow up with. Those things will make you successful in America.
Okay, what are the top 3 cultural faux pas to avoid doing in the USA?
Well, one thing is, don't assume that there's one American culture. Don't assume that because you see a lot of movies that sort of show and depict Americans one way, that all Americans are that way. Another thing is figuring out a way to distinguish between politics and the person. I've noticed that sometimes, which is it can be a bit strange, there's some people that might align with a certain party but might not necessarily agree with the lead of that party. And so the human instinct, human nature sometimes is to say, well, if you're from this party, you must support everything that person does. So be careful about that. Last faux pas is if you go into the mindset where you're being competitive with an American and you're saying my culture is better than your culture, or you all don't even have your own type of culture, that can be seen as condescending. So just be careful about that.
What about when it comes to doing business internationally? What are your main tips for things to watch out for?
The most important thing to watch out for when doing business internationally is not to be ethnocentric. Don't go into any place thinking that your way is the only way. Make sure that you respect the environment enough to ask about the way they do business, what the cultural norms are. Find out if there are holidays. Be culturally intelligent and sensitive to make sure that you're able to read the lay of the land. It's not just about signing the contract, it's about recognizing the people around you, okay? Recognize people around you, look for the unwritten culture, unspoken culture, and if you are able to combine that with your business, you would go a long way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking part in this Culture Q&A interview. Really opened our eyes to US culture and love so many of your answers. Listen, keep in touch and good luck in everything that you're doing.